Hello, once again welcome to Art Coolie Plus. Today I am going to make some video about what I generally talk for each of the subject when I am along with other teachers to introduce the subject to the students actually, and also I'll expand one of those topics a little more in detail actually. So the first thing is that every student should understand that there is a way of learning any subject actually. So if you look at from teacher's point of view, he or she may want you to focus on something. I'm not denying that is not important. Even if something is told by your teacher in your local school, you may also focus on that, but also focus on what I am telling you actually. So for example, suppose you talk about environmental science actually. So I tell students that environmental science, if you have to really implement it successfully, then you have to focus less on science but more on morality, more on ethicality. Why is it so actually? Because you see, many a times many people know everything about environmental science actually. They know that by doing certain things the degradation of environment will happen actually, but still they allow it to happen. Why? Because they are not morally and ethically strong enough to take decisions supporting those science values actually. So science is there. Yeah, of course you have to know the clear and exact actionable points about science actually, but unless you have strong moral conviction to follow those points, implement it with a strong resolve, it will not help you anymore actually. So for regarding environmental science, make sure that you make your moral compass pointing in the right direction. You create some bottom line where you will not stop below that line to make money, but in process you are going to harm the environment actually. So this every student should focus on this actually. Then regarding history of architecture, see, history of architecture is a very, very important subject actually, because in that subject we get to know what our forefathers used to think about any problem and how they approach that problem, how they solve that problem actually. So history of architecture is more or less solutions designed by our ancestors for contemporary problems of those times actually. So whenever you are studying history of architecture, then you also go back in that time and think what was the design brief for certain project, and then how that architect, our forefather architect, approached that project, and how we did certain things in certain way, and why it is so popular today. So those kind of aspects you should focus on actually. So for example, if you take this Ashok Stamba actually, so the brief given by Samrat Ashok was that he has arrived at Samrat and he is powerful enough actually. So he want to give strong message to his enemies, also to people in his state, that I am a powerful king and I am a powerful state actually. So to do that, he asked the architect to design something symbolic actually, and architect of those time, they came up with Ashok Stamba actually. So that though it has some those four-headed lions, and then there was some metal steel also. So even that steel rod or whatever, it was also the technology advance of that time actually. And there were some inscriptions actually, some stories about what he is doing as a state actually, as a king. So those Ashok Stamba became very, very powerful symbols throughout his state, to his subjects, also to his enemies, that how powerful he is actually. So Ashok Stamba, if you decode it backwards, then you have to bring it in today's context, that if you get the same design brick today, how will you solve it actually? And if you say it will be same like Ashok Stamba, so that means you are actually relating to history in certain manner actually. Then let's talk about say technology. So you see, the technology has two aspects actually. They are building materials actually, and there is a methodology to put up those building materials actually. So these two aspects are there actually. So whenever you are studying any known technology, okay, so you actually approach that technology as if the solution is not known to you actually. So first you try to think in your mind how you will use that material in different ways and what you will do actually. So let's take about bricks actually. So before you start with different ways of putting a brick to make a wall and to make it stronger eventually, and also look nice aesthetically. So before you go into the actual theory, the actual methods which are used in modern times, you yourself make brick models and put up some methodology and think of different ways of putting up and make the wall strong and also make it look pleasant. When you do this for say 1.5 hours, 2 hours actually, and exhaust all the possibilities actually, including making different bricks, half bricks or quarter bricks or quinoon brick, like that, all exhausted actually. Then after that, you look at the solutions which are provided in the modern technology classes or books or videos actually, and then you see how much you could actually arrive at the correct solution by your own logic without going into all those information from the books or videos or anywhere else, or even whatever your teacher says actually. So why I'm saying this? Because if you follow this method of studying the material and the methodology of using that material and putting it together to solve any technological issues, what happens is that you get that structure of thinking in that direction, where you try to decode the technology which is possible to give the best results with the optimum cost also if required, and in case you face a new material in future anytime which is not used by anybody in human history, then actually by this method, if your mind is trained, then you will be able to use this new material with a good solution faster than anybody else actually. So this is what you should do about technology, building, construction and technology actually. Or some people call it BMC, or some people they call it AC, BMT, whatever it is called in your place actually. So basically it is about technology actually. So this is about technology. Then if you talk about other subject also, like project management actually. So project management is actually is also If you study it very hard and properly, then it will give you some kind of design and build yourself approach to your clients actually. So you will be strong enough to design something and also build it yourself actually, and give the best service to your client actually. So project management is always look from that point of view actually. And there are some conventional wisdom of project management actually, which is called traditional project management. So try to arrive at that thing in your mind yourself, how it can be done traditionally actually. And then you go buy other books actually, and you can expand on that actually. So same about humanities. Humanities also actually. You see, the humanities is also about empathy actually. You see, whenever I was teaching humanities to some students actually in whatever year, second year or third year actually, I created empathy for the human problems actually. And humanities involves that actually. We have to look at empathy actually. So if you're discussing about the slums, slums in cities, or you're looking at other things actually, so you have to bring humanistic approach to the subject actually. And why people are staying on footpath and why people are staying in slums, what are the reasons, and all this migration and distraught in about income and all those things actually. So you have to bring empathy actually, and this empathy will actually also try to give you good solutions towards all these city level problems about slums and all those which are bad, what do you call, bad, ugly eyesores in our cityscape actually. So that also you have to study properly actually, with empathy, and bring humanistic approach to solutions to this kind of problems actually. Then other subject like graphics, of course, graphics you have to if you understand the graphics, so you can only design as much as you can draw actually. So if you are not able to express your ideas by drawing, then other person can understand. So basically you should know graphics 100% actually. So there is no excuse for not working hard on graphics actually. And graphics you can understand better if you are good in mathematics actually. So try to make your mathematics good, strong actually. Okay. See, there are so many electives actually. There are electives in other so many years actually. So I will not go into all actually. But one or two which comes in my mind is conservation architecture. You see, again, conservation architecture is a same thing about extension of history of architecture. So whatever our forefathers have designed and constructed, now whatever is still existing with us actually, in whatever form. So how to conserve that and reuse that and retrofit those buildings or refurbish those buildings and make it again in our use. So this is all about conservation. So you see actually a palace converted into a 5-star hotel actually, and so you actually make the use of the building also. Also you make a different kind of historical building available to common people and enjoy its splendor and beauty. And also you if you make commercial use of that as hotel, its upkeep and maintenance automatically becomes easy actually. So those kind of solutions, the conservation architect have to propose. So even that is a good line to study actually. Work hard on that actually. And also even our cultural things like I did some study with architect Charles Correa on mill lines actually. So these mill lines are there in Mumbai, which are very old structures in stone and other this and they are mostly ground or G+1 structures actually. So we did this study given by urban department, government of Maharashtra. It was given to Charles Correa, and Charles Correa actually collaborated with Kamala Raja Vidyanithi Institute of Architecture, where I was senior lecturer there actually. So our school students and we actually did some legwork and handwork for him, and Charles was the chairman of that committee. So during that also we proposed that 1/3 of part of the mills, the good part of building which can be conserved should be actually proposed to be retained actually. So this was the solution given by us after a long study actually, and I think that is being implemented in Mumbai state through urban department of Maharashtra government actually. So conservation is a good study. Then there is some tourism also. The tourism, of course, is very simple. How it generates employment, how it generates, you know, all these traditional artifacts and other things you can manufacture, and also it attracts tourists. They are bought by tourists, and also the how to make sure that the environment doesn't get degraded due to tourism actually. So all this hotel and other traffic make sure that the natural habitat of the forest and other structures are not disturbed so much actually. Like you have to create some roadways for mobility and other things. You have to create some roads for mobility and all those things. So tourism along with conservation of environment and also conservation of architecture in case there are some built structure in those places is also a good study. So all these subjects you can approach, and as and when I will remember some more electives, I will talk to you about that actually. Now I promise you that I'll expand any one subject a little bit more in detail. So I will actually expand the subject of technology. Whatever you call like BMC, or you call it materials, technology, materials, like that. So this subject I will expand a little bit more actually. So many times I tell students that you can design as much as technology actually. So this is also there, because if you don't know the technology and if you just simply draw something and get approval from the client, of course the client will approve, and then things will start. Somebody have to make sure how it can be built, put up, and then this person, when he finds some difficulty in the way you design, the structural problems or any other problems, technology problems, or sourcing of materials or whatever, then while interacting with you, sometimes he will suggest something, and then back and forth the discussion will also go, so that there will be delay in time. This is the number one. And second is that if you know technology yourself properly, including structural engineering actually, if you understand it very well, including other services, very well, MEP and other things actually, then what will happen? You can design with the minimal time. The time is consumed to approve the project is less, and also you can get the optimum cost, the value for money project, because you understand everything. So this Santiago Claratava is one of the best example. He is also an architect, he is also structural engineer himself. I'll put some pictures of some buildings which is designed by him. Wonderful, because he himself is an architect, he himself is a structural engineer. So he doesn't have to depend on another structural engineer to solve his building. So that is why there's a beautiful what you call language between aesthetics of architecture and structural elements, which is giving a very beautiful feel to the architecture, and people who experience this architecture actually. So Santiago Claratava is a good example of what I am talking about. And also you see sometimes it happens that you cannot detail out the technology to last screw, or to the perfect shape or form of the technology. So that time you have to take help of some technologies. So these technologies are they are like factory designers actually. So they have more experience about certain elements. So a good example about this is that the HSBC building, Hong Kong actually. So this HSBC building, the owners of the HSBC building. They have briefed that every 50 years they demolish the old building and then they call for competition for new building actually. So the old building HSBC in Hong Kong was made in stone and that kind of technology, which was actually constructed sometime roughly around 1920s actually. So again, after 50 years, that is in 1970s, 72 or 73, they actually called for the design competition internationally actually. And they gave the brief to the architect that, the building design should be such that it should be appealing even up to 50 years from the day of finish of the building. So with that brief, this Norman Foster, who is a British architect, he went to competition actually. And his entry did win actually. But whatever the estimated cost, whatever the proposed cost of the project of HSBC, his building was exceeding by 0.4. So the cost of building became 1.4 times of the proposed cost of the building as desired by HSBC management actually. So when it was put up to Norman Foster why this is happening and how you justify this increasing cost actually. So actually Norman Foster had actually used external structural frames to support the building, and he has made sure that all intermediate columns inside and beams were eliminated actually. So with this actually he could get 1.4 times of the usable carpet area than the other conventional building which was demolished in 1970. So he said that this 0.4 extra floor space justified the cost I am actually increasing. And I think management was satisfied with the explanation, and then the construction started. And then now you see this all the structural members of this HSBC building. If you look at it actually, so they are very huge in size, and they are going in external this. So Hong Kong was not having so much technology in those times actually. So the whole the project of fabricating of these components of this building were outsourced to 19 countries and 23 factories actually. So all these factories, they were headed by one project manager appointed by Norman Foster, and he interacted with the factory design team to actually detail out the components actually. And these components were designed in such a way that they had tolerance of up to actually, because they will come from so many factories, 23 factories across 19 countries. So when they come in one place and when they assembled, they should actually fit perfectly. So tolerance was almost like aircraft. Whatever the way you manufacture the aircraft, the tolerance in that is actually in actually. The same was the tolerance kept for these components of HSBC building by Norman Foster actually. So these components, they came back from all these 19 countries to Hong Kong, and it was actually then erected by one contractor. So all those details of project I will actually put some graphics actually for you actually. And then this project happened actually. So you see, this is again, I'm telling you that the project management, the construction project management. So this Norman Foster, he was more of a project manager actually than an architect actually. And he justified the cost of the building. He could see through that how the design has this tolerance of and then how it is brought from different countries, and how it is erected properly. So construction project management is a serious subject. So some students about architect, they will think that what is the use of this subject for me. But actually, even if you don't actually work as a project manager on the site, but even as a designer in your building projects, it will help you greatly if you understand that subject properly actually. So regarding this technology, you see, Norman Foster could put up this building because he knew by his instinct that this technology is feasible, possible. Way back in 1972, 73 actually. So this the construction of the building started very late. I think somewhere that I'll put actually. So there is a gap between the construction starting and this. So I understand this all these factories, they were manufacturing these components. It took so much time actually. It took so much time to manufacture and bring them on site, and then the actual construction started actually. So all this all. A more detailed CPM project management of this building, I will give some other video actually for those senior students who are studying that subject CPM in 4th year actually. For time being, this is a general video, so I want to keep it to brief and a minimal this interaction. Then second building about which I want to discuss is that this Guggenheim Bilbao Museum in Spain actually, which was designed by Frank Gehry actually. So this Frank Gehry had a brief from Bilbao Municipal Council that we want to make a museum in existing building actually. So they showed him some existing building and they said, this is the building, please design a museum in this actually. So when Frank Gehry went on site and he saw the structure and all that, then he came to conclusion that it is not feasible to convert that building into museum for many reasons actually. And then he proposed to council that so we had demolished this building and make a new building actually. So then they told him, okay, show us your design proposal actually. So when Frank Gehry showed him the proposal, so they were very happy. They said, okay, this is good, but how much it will cost us actually? So then Frank Gehry gave estimate it will cost you $100 million actually. Now, first of all, Bilbao Municipal Council was reluctant. They said, no, sir, we don't have this much money. We are a small municipality actually. So we are not very sure whether we can afford to pay so much money. Then this Frank Gehry assured this Bilbao Municipal Council that if you somehow raise this money and construct this building, I assure you that so many people from all over the world will come to see this building, and only from the fees you will charge, the visitors fees you will charge from these visitors, from that itself you could recover the cost of the building within 3 to 4 years actually. So this reassured Bilbao Municipal Council. But then they put a caveat. They said, okay, fine, we have no problem with that, but make sure that it finishes $100 million actually. If the cost will overshoot by even $1, we will not pay you actually. We don't have money actually. So this is it. So then again Frank Gehry thought for a moment, and then he thought that what can be the solution for this. So he said, okay, no problem, I will manage it actually. So now you see, again this project management skills came to the rescue of Frank Gehry. You see what he did. He had the whole building cost analysis, and he made different components of this cost actually. And then he made sure that nothing of that part will start until the other parts, the whole part, some set is finished actually. And he knows the cost of that part actually. So he made also priorities which are more important for him actually. So he must have made some point that this facade material is very important for me, this structure is important for me, and then other things like that. He must have made some priorities actually. So he started with that structure, and then he started putting the facade, and from that he started keeping the tab of the cost of the project. So whenever he found that the cost is going a little higher than estimated, so then he will go in real time other components which were not started. He will tone down the specifications, or he tone down or change some design aspect of those, and also make sure that the cost is reduced to bring overall cost to $100 million actually. So again, this is another example how project management skills can help you as an architect in your working in your day-to-day affairs of supervising the building, and also confidently executing the building and keeping the cost in control and all that. So moreover, you see, this same project had another issue. It was in some junction, and there was a river going actually. So what will happen that if the facade has any shining material actually, so the motor is bypassing that road will actually have the glare from that material, and then it will create some accidents on the site, on the road actually. So Frank Gehry was obliged to take a material which will not reflect light actually. And Frank Gehry's design, if you see, they have different curves and and they go in different way actually. And actually, he will design the building, like he will make some models, and then he will come and he will, just cross it, and then he will leave them. And then whatever form it takes, he said this is okay, this is design actually. And actually, it becomes little funny actually, because I saw one of his video about Frank Gehry, some kind of lecture on him actually, whereby his people in his office, they work hard to put up some model actually, and then again he will come and he will again press it and all that, and then again he will whatever form it takes. Okay, what is wrong in this? How about this actually? And actually, when I saw that video, I was a little shocked actually, and I said, what is this actually? If this building, the way he is doing things, if any architectural student will have a look at it, he will be actually he will be like shocked. Like he will say that all my professors, they say that there is a process of design, and it has the solution should come by some parameters and taking care of process and all that. And then this guy, he just comes and he just crosses the model and makes them go in and the maneuverability of the material, the ultimate form it takes. After all that, he takes that as a final solution, and then again he does it again 2 times, 3 times, and he goes on doing till he says, oh, this is it now, final. So there is some ad hocism in this actually, but Frank Gehry is Frank Gehry actually, because when you reach certain level as an architect, when you get name actually, then actually you become like almost like a boss actually. Nobody can question you actually, because you are getting results actually, you are getting clients, you are getting projects actually. So these professors, they actually tell you something because they think that certain wrong ideas and wrong processes will give you wrong buildings and wrong designs, and they assume that you will not get clients actually. But if you show the professor that whatever you are doing and you are getting clients and you are getting money, then I think the professor will shut his mouth actually. But as a student, you don't have any demonstrated way to prove to professor that I have clients because of these ideas actually. So that is why they suffer, and they have to get into all these arguments with the professors, and it becomes sometimes little bit complicated actually. I agree. So I am on the student side on this actually. So make sure that you get out this architecture school with a minimal friction with professors regarding your ideas about design and other things actually. And then when you come into practice with your own conviction, you can give good buildings, whatever you feel very strongly. And when you get clients and when you get money, I think nobody will bother to criticize you actually. Of course, there are still more critics actually, but that is another story. Then you have to deal them in a different way actually. So that was then I will make some other separate video actually about morality, ethicality, and ego of an architect. What is all about actually. So that I will make a separate video on that actually. Whether architecture process is a democratic process, it is an egalitarian process. So there is also some views about me, mine about those ideas. So I will expound those ideas in another video actually, separately actually. So for you as student, you should make sure that you come out of this institute with a less friction with the teachers, and then you can go behind your ideas with conviction and do what you want to do and get your clients and get your money and get your fees. So Frank Gehry had to use a new material because of the curves and all that. So existing material wouldn't work. He had used glass, and glass he could solve by that some K value, reflective anti-glare value and all that he could do. But then regarding metal, he found that other metals will stainless steel or will reflect light more. So he had to go find a new material, and then it came to his notice that titanium is a good material, it will not reflect light, and also give the feel of metal, and it is very also light in weight. It is good material. But with that material, you see, it was never used in history of building construction actually. So it was the first time used actually. It was the first thing. So now you see that other thing I talked about, the analogy of studying the build technology, whatever you're studying in syllabus as if you don't know. So you're putting up a brick wall without studying the brick bonds actually yourself. And when you do that for 2 hours, 3 hours with a small brick models actually, whatever solution you bring with your own mind, with your own ideas, so it gives you an idea where you stand in solving technology issues about using material and way to put up that material into structural buildings or otherwise any other way. So in our case, titanium was not a structural member. The structural frame below was the steel actually, and this titanium they were coming in a tiles actually, and these tiles were supposed to be on the exterior form actually. So now this they will come in exterior form. Below that there will be waterproof membrane, and then below that there will be structural member. So you have to again put a screw through titanium to waterproof membrane to the structural membrane. So when you do that, what will happen? The waterproof membrane will get punctured actually. So then what will happen? It may leak. So to solve that problem, he had to interact with the waterproof membrane material technologies, and make sure that this waterproof membrane, when you puncture a hole through that by a screw, it heals around it, and again make it very tight around that screw actually. So this he achieved with interaction with that technologies of the waterproof membrane actually, and then he could use the titanium also, and he could avoid the glare to the motorists actually, and you can see the result. I'll put up some pictures for you actually, and more details about this Frank Gehry's building. I will also make one slide for you for your information. So in today's lecture we studied how to approach every subject. I give you some idea about all the subjects. Then regarding technology, I expanded it. I give you example of 2 buildings, whereby in first part the technology is such that he has to interact with the factory design operators actually. You can call them manufacturers or technologists, and he could fine-tune the design. And in case of Guggenheim Bilbao Museum, Frank Gehry actually used the new material titanium with a waterproof membrane, self-healing type, and he solved the problem and he achieved good results. So both are fine examples of this understanding project management actually in detail to help you as architect and proceed further actually. So with this, today's part A about architectural pedagogy is finished, and then I'll go to second part about the building about architecture schools where I'm interacting. So thank you for now. Bye. See, regarding this college managements, my interaction with them, and you see, I got some feedback from some of my friends that why students should be interested in listening to your issues and problems with the management actually. You see, this is not the correct way of looking at these things actually. You see, I'm actually not complaining about this management. I'm not complaining. I could always come around these methods actually, around this management in some way or other way actually. That is not the problem. That is not the issue here. The issue here is that I want to tell students that all this management which I have encountered in these 30 colleges and other colleges where I actually couldn't actually work but visited either for interview or other things actually. So it gives me idea what is the cross section of the colleges across India actually. So I'm sure your college will be falling in one of this typology of managements of these architecture colleges. So by law of averages actually, I'm just trying to tell you that be careful, you may be in one of these colleges actually. So what is my focus? My focus is that you self-study. You understand? So I'm not saying that whatever your college is doing may be wrong, or whatever your teachers may be doing wrong, or whatever your principal, vice principal may be doing will be wrong. I'm not saying that. But to be on safer side, be conscious to study architecture on your own actually. So through Artculi Plus, I am actually telling you how you can manage to do that on your own actually, and how to study architecture on your own actually. So self-learning is one of the very important pillars of my pedagogy, whereby you keep yourself safe actually, protect yourself. This is like a second level protection actually. So and also there was a criticism that your videos are becoming very long actually, and why anybody should be interested to listen to 1 hour or 2 hour videos actually about all these things actually. See, again I'm telling you, studying architecture is a serious subject actually. So I would request you that when you have that time, you look at the length of the video. Suppose it is 1 hour or 1.5 hours, whatever. If you can finish that in one sitting with concentration, then you open my videos and you have to listen to it actually, because there is no way I can shorten certain things actually, because I expand to minutest detail everything what is important actually. And if I say that these are your second safety belt to make you study architecture properly, then I have to make sure that they are correct videos actually. So by virtue of that, the videos will have some length actually. So please make sure that you have patience to listen to all my videos also. So today I will give you an example of one college whereby I want to tell you how the college make decisions and how they actually harm the students' psyche and their work, and how they disturb them actually. So somewhere, some part of India, I was referred to by one of my friends who is also principal in some city in some part of India, who knew me also. I worked there as principal, so he knew that I'm a good guy to head an institute. So he had gone to this institute as a inspector from the Council of Architecture. So this owner of the college, I had told him that I'm looking for a principal. So if you know somebody, please refer him to me actually. So that is why this friend of mine, he told me that please go and visit so college, and they're looking for you actually. So I met this owner. It was a good meeting of roughly 20-25 minutes. He was very impressed by me actually, and he expressed desire that I want you to work for at least minimum 10 years for me, and please help me to bring name and fame to my architecture college and bring it up. We are suffering. We don't have any rank in our state, and also we are not getting good quality students, and we are suffering, and so many other things. He told me so many problems actually. So I said, okay, I can do a lot of things what you are looking for. Let me start. Let me see actually. So when I went there, he told me to start immediately actually. So I went to college, and he had some of his other coordinators and partners, I understand, who were interacting with me actually. So I had some small meeting, and then I started. And then after I think a day or two, this coordinator, he sent me one note that there is one NSS board. NSS is like national service actually. I don't know what it is. NSS actually. I think I'll put the full form separately. So there is some kind of board actually for that, and they wanted to put on some college junction outside actually. So he sent me one note that please ask students to paint this board actually. So when I saw that note, I felt that it is not a good thing to use students as a labor actually. So I wrote on that note that please get it painted by professional painters. Students cannot do it actually. So after 2 days, again he sent a note that ask students to paint it actually. So this time he framed in a different way. He put some note that so your architecture students are doing some graffiti on walls and all that. They're painting something in classroom and corridors. So NSS board is same thing. What is the difference actually? Now when it came second time to me, I got a little irritated actually. That why this guy is acting so much stubborn about it actually. And actually, let me give you the background. You see, during those times, students were having exam actually. And they were only the first year students who had come new in college. They had no exams, so I was taking classes of them, and other students were absent actually. So they were having a study leave actually. So during study leave, so some students, they had come to college, 4 or 5, to interact with one senior associate professor regarding their design brief actually, some case study or something actually. So now if I ask the students to paint this NSS board, first of all, it will disturb their study actually, because they had come to college, they interact with teachers, and they had to go back to their home or hostel to study actually. So it will disturb that. And second, I felt it is wrong practice actually, because this graffiti and all that is a part of creativity, where students also get involved actually, and it is painted in the infrastructure of the building, and it is actually interacted by students every time they are in the building. So it is also they are using it, what they create actually. Whereas this NSS board is not part of architectural campus, it is outside on the road, and students are not using anything of their mind. He did not say that you have to design and do something. He said it will be given to you, everything you have to just copy it on the board actually. So that means there was no creativity involved actually. So this time, second time when I got this note, I got a little irritated and I wrote on that, please get it painted from professionals, and whatever they charge, cut it from my salary actually. Now students, why I am telling you this? You see, this is what I do. I am in teaching because I love students, and when I love students, I make sure that they are not harassed, they are not disturbed, their core business of studying, it goes very smoothly actually. So when I do that, when I say that, I also put my money there actually. Now this board will cost something like 5,000 rupees to be painted, and I am ready to pay it from my salary actually. So when I say something, I put my money there. And this college, they also had engineering branch, and they had I think 3 branches in 3 cities actually. And still they want some free work to be done from the students, which is unethical and wrong practice actually. Now you see this college management, they're telling me that you try to bring the college up, and when I tell them I can do that, and you have to do what I'm saying, they don't want to listen to me actually. So this after 1 week, when I told the owner, now I have to go to my city and get my luggage, because now I am working with a minimum luggage. So allow me to go and come back. He said, okay, go and come back. So when I was leaving, I told the owner that I'm leaving some luggage behind the hostel room where you have given me accommodation, and then I will come with my more luggage and I will take it away. So I started for the journey to go to my the city from where I have to bring my luggage. After 10 minutes, I got a call from the owner that please, whatever balance luggage you kept, please take it along with you actually. So okay, I said, I took my luggage with me, and then when I went to owner, the owner told me that there is a complaint against you from my coordinators. They are saying that you are not cooperating, and I cannot continue with you. I was said, yeah, what is this actually? So I told him, see, this cooperation, what you're expecting from me is not possible, because it will actually disturb students actually. So if you feel strongly about it, I have no problem. I'm okay. So this is the college where I got terminated within a week actually. First of all actually. And there was no fault of mine. There was nothing like evolution of my teaching methods or nothing. It was just purely they wanted me to do some wrong practices, support them on that, and I refused to do that actually. So students, please understand actually that you are working in these colleges, in this kind of colleges actually, where they are following unethical practices actually. and then they also ask other teachers to do same thing actually. And about this man, this coordinator, I came to know through other people. You see, when I was in other college, some other teachers knew this guy, and they told me that this guy, he would for 2 days study tour, which will cost something like 1500 rupees. He will charge 4,500 rupees, and then the balance money he will put in his pocket actually. So already the other teachers, they've testified to me that this guy is a fraud guy who was interacting with you, sending you letters to make you paint the NSS board. So actually college will pay that money to paint that board, NSS board, but he will put that money in his pocket and he will get it painted by the students actually. So those kind of hanky panky things they were doing actually, and I refused to support that, and I lost job within 1 week, which is the shortest duration I have ever worked. But it's okay for me, and I am always okay. When they tell me to go, I simply go actually. So students, be careful, keep yourself safe. That's why I'm telling you, self-study. Whatever I'm telling you in Artcoolie Plus, please listen to me, and please make a safety net of studying architecture on your own, because you will be in one of these colleges whereby law of averages, you will suffer in some way in your pedagogy of your college. So my pedagogy, Architecture Plus, if you follow yourself meticulously, it will help you to study architecture properly. So thank you there. See you again when I see you. Bye for now. Thank you.